Weeks, head coach Bruce Arians tells NFL Network's Michael Silver, what's up, Michael, saying, quote, "We call what he picks. We just have to get better," unquote. Max, Brady's calling the plays.
Yeah.
Are these Brady problems, Arians problems? What's going on with this Bucs team?
This is everything that you thought. Like any sober analysis of the Bucs before the season started had him right here. No risk it, no biscuit coach with a dink and dunk quarterback. Of course there's going to be some tension in terms of how they're going to do it. It's going to morph over time into more of Tom Brady's offense. But Tom Brady not with Bill Belichick anymore. Now he sees not how the other half lives, how everyone who ever lived except for him lives. He doesn't have no one's perfect, but Belichick makes fewer mistakes than anyone else. He lets the other team beat themselves, right? So he doesn't have that anymore. He's with a coach who's human. He makes mistakes. He's good. I think Bruce Arians is a solid NFL coach. I think he's a good coach. You know, he's not Bill Belichick. So now Brady is dealing with that. Guys, as I said yesterday, the over-under for wins for the Bucs coming into the season was 9.5. I like the over. I like them to win 10 games. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to win 12, 13 games. Brady's so great. No. Brady is, as his QBR shows, he's an average quarterback, which is amazing at his age. And I would say he's a little over average. It's Tom Brady. I agree with that. But like middle of the pack. High middle, maybe, even though the stats say maybe low middle. But that's what he is. And he's got weapons everywhere, but it's not a perfect fit. And he's learning the system, and he's doing it at a time when he's 43 years old. So if you like them for 10 wins, right now they're 7-5, guys. They're going to win 3 of their last 4 games. Right, something like that. They're going to be 10 or whatever. They're going to be 10-6 at the end of the season. That's what they were supposed to be. So for all the, even Bruce Arians is like, hey, it's a work in progress. Brady's doing fine. He's calling the plays. We're figuring it out. He's getting better. This is what they are. This is what you thought they'd be before the season started.
Well, first of all, I had them going 11-5 this season. I had them losing the division to the Saints, which was probably at 12-4, if I remember correctly. That's what my thought process was. But I'm going to sit up there and look at Arians. I'm not absolving Brady. I'm just looking at Arians just as significantly, if not even more. We have periodically pointed to this, things they've done schematically. We've had a problem with it. Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit. But you have Tom Brady. You got to meet him somewhere in the middle. And if dinking and dunking is the way to go, and that's what rode him the 6 Super Bowl titles and 9 Super Bowl appearances, and you're Bruce Arians, if you never had one on your resume as a head football coach, it might behoove you to listen to this dude and kind of do what he wants to do, particularly when you have the requisite weapons available to you. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking about the fact that you got a defense that's ranked number 1 against the rush, but number 24 against the pass. And I'm looking at what you did to that good dude, Carlton Davis. We don't know if Carlton Davis will ever recover for that beat down. I mean, it's rare that you see a cornerback not only alone on an island, but left alone on an island to be so thoroughly embarrassed the way that he was by Tyreek Hill. 1 minute you sitting up there and you backpedaling before you catch touchdown passes. Another minute you backflip it into the end zone and posing on the opposing team's turf. All in the first quarter with 200-plus receiving yards. In the first quarter, it was just embarrassing. They had the camera on Carlton Davis. You see his head down. I don't even remember what he looks like because he had his head buried so low for so long on Sunday afternoon. And then let's get into Antonio Brown. I'm sorry, I know that he's not been around that much longer, that long rather. But this is Antonio Brown we're talking about here. You tell me on what day in the illustrious on-field football career of Antonio Brown where he's been targeted 3 times and catch 2 passes for 11 yards. You trying to tell me you don't know to get that man the ball? I love Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's no joke. Gronkowski is a reliable weapon. Scott Miller is all right. We get all of that. This is Antonio Brown. Now, we can say what we want about the headache he might be off the field based on some of the problems that he caused. But there is no question that on the field, we're talking about a Hall of Famer, one of the elite receivers this game has ever seen. 2 receptions for 11 yards, 3 targets against the Kansas City Chiefs. What the hell is going on here? You're damn right I'm looking at Bruce Arians, not just Tom Brady. I'm looking at Bruce Arians.
I would say the biggest disappointment for me this season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers has been the evolution of their blocking schemes for blitz pickup and four-man rush, for lack of a better word. As you're looking at this team, week after week and the development of it, they have not figured out how to protect Tom Brady. Here's the difference. Everybody talks about, hey, we're going to motion. We want to use motion, and that was the whole clip with Mike and the whole conversation he's having with BA about how much motion does he want. I played on an offense that was static. We did not motion. And why didn't we motion? Because we wanted to know where everybody was, where their alignment was, because that told you so much about who could blitz, who was in danger, who was going to try to trap who. All of those keys. You could use voice inflection on the snap count to get guys to tip. Again, all of those things with the Colts and Peyton Manning, and Brady has done that for his entire career. Because the bottom line is, every defensive coordinator understands Tom Brady's going to be 4 yards or 5 yards behind the center at the end of every play, because that's where he does his best work, right? He's not going to roll out. So all the motioning, all the jet motion, all that stuff, all that tells you is zone or man, and all it can do is ultimately confuse where the back's going and which guy is hot. If you're playing Evans at a different position, Brown at a different position, Godwin at a different position, the two tight end package, all those things, it becomes more complicated to tell guys where to block and who they're responsible for. So they're trying to make it simple. The issue is they're not executing what's being called. Where they have a 6-man pro, and then you saw Kansas City bring 6 and they still get pressure, that's execution. That's not just on the head coach. I would say this. I am hoping in the bye week, Tom Brady and this offensive line and the running backs and the tight ends, everybody who's involved in blocking it up, because that's the answer you heard from Bruce Arians is we have to learn to block it up because, he's going to call the plays and he's going to do what he does, right? Understand what that means and go back and figure out what's the best way, because when Tom Brady is protected, he is effective. Here's the bottom line. With motion, he has an 18 QBR. Without motion, it's like 86 QBR. So we can't say that motion is the answer, right? So what we do have to figure out is how do we make him his best? That's by keeping him clean in the pocket. Is he playing as well as he has the past? No, I'm not saying Tom Brady is doing everything he should do yet either, and I think he's owned that. But as an offense in totality, they have got to figure out pass protection and how vital it is for this offense, because the whole no risk it, no biscuit conversation has to begin with that you have protection to get the ball down the field. It takes 4 seconds for a guy to run 40 yards, man. Like, if somebody's trying to stop him in front, it's not just all of a sudden it happens. So figure that portion out, and I think this offense catches up. I will say, Stephen A., I believe you brought this up. Their pass defense has been poor, and not just because of Hill torching them. They've got to figure that part out, man. This defense is too good to give up that kind of yards and letting teams convert on them, which again keeps their offense on the sideline.
Look, okay, fine. Those are details why it's not going perfectly. Every team has them, including the Bucs, right? And you're breaking it down. I get it, but it's still a top 10 defense, however you slice it. Whether or not it's quite the elite of the elite or just top 10. And it's almost embarrassing how many weapons he has. Like, you just said it. Antonio Brown, Godwin, Evans, and then Gronk, who he's like out there, like, it's unbelievable. So if you got a defense and you got a coach you think is using this, like, blocking schemes imperfectly, and you have an embarrassment of receivers, I'm not trying to hear about, it's the coach. It's as much the quarterback as the coach. It's just when we say it's, what's the it's we're referring to? That they're 7-5? That they're going to wind up with 10 wins? Guys, I'm just pointing out, that's what they were supposed to do. Okay, Stephen A., if you say, you like them for 11, all right, you get a whistle here, a call there, a play here, a PI there. That could be the difference between 10 or 11. But they were, to me, and the odds makers thought they're either a 9 or a 10-win team. I'll take 10. That's what they're heading for. This is what you got. Brady's not going to suddenly become an MVP again. He's not that player anymore. He's a professional quarterback. He's a starter, and he's got a lot of weapons on the team, and so they're winning. They're winning more than they're losing, which is what you should expect.
But, Max, Like, I hear you in the overall record. My concern is the regression that you're seeing in the offense as a whole, right? Or I guess they haven't reached the potential I thought they would have gotten to by this point. That's the part that concerns me. It's not their overall record, whether they're going to win the NFC South or not. I thought this would be a team to be feared in the playoffs. But by the style that they're playing, that's not even a question right now, because you're seeing them play against good teams and really get dressed down. That's my concern. Is I would have thought they would be ascending into the playoffs because I thought it would take time. I just haven't seen them catch up that much, and I did think defense was going to have to carry them. So top 10, whatever. But from the pass perspective, they got to get, because I think that's going to carry them. But to your point, their overall record, I get it. But I'm saying I thought they were going to be a force to be reckoned with come playoff time because of the weeks. It just hasn't gotten there as fast as I thought it was going to happen.
Well, Jeff, this is the thing, and you brought up blocking, which obviously you would know like the back of your hand. And the bottom line.